My husband returned from war with another woman carrying his child, and by the end of that week, I was standing before the most feared king in the empire. For months, I waited for my husband to return home. Every morning, I stood by the gates believing that when he finally came back, everything would be the same again. I had no idea that the life I knew was already slipping away from me. The war was finally over. When I saw the soldiers approaching from the distance, my heart raced so fast I thought I would cry. After all those months apart, he had finally come home to me. I remember smiling like a fool as I walked toward him. In that moment, nothing else mattered. Not the war, not the loneliness, just him. Then I saw her, standing beside my husband like she belonged there, holding on to him so naturally, as though I had never existed at all. And then I noticed her hand resting over her stomach. That was when my entire world shattered. The woman beside my husband was carrying his child. His family welcomed her with open arms. They fussed over her, protected her, smiled at her. And somehow I became invisible in my own home. I stood there watching them laugh together, realizing I was no longer part of that family. I had lost my place without anyone even saying it aloud. I tried to speak to him that night. I wanted answers. I wanted him to tell me this was all some terrible misunderstanding. But he wouldn't even look at me. The man who once held me like I was his entire world suddenly felt colder than a stranger. And when she looked at me, I finally understood. None of this was accidental. She acted weak whenever people were watching, fragile, helpless, innocent, and everyone believed her. No matter what happened in that house, somehow I was always the one blamed for it. The whispers started soon after. They spoke about me like I was cruel, jealous, unstable, but when no one else was around, her mask disappeared. That was when I saw who she truly was. She smiled at me and whispered, "You've already lost." And somehow, I knew she was right. That day, she asked me to meet her alone near the staircase. I should have known it was a trap. 1 second she was standing there, and the next she threw herself down the stairs. Everyone came running the moment they heard her scream. She pointed at me with tears in her eyes and accused me of trying to kill her. Before I could even defend myself, his mother struck me across the face. They called me dangerous, jealous, a disgrace to the family I had sacrificed everything for. And then they decided I should be dragged before the king so he could punish me himself. So I ran, not because I was guilty, but because I realized no one was ever going to believe me. I stood at the edge of the cliff wondering if disappearing would hurt less than staying alive. Just as I was about to jump, someone grabbed my wrist and pulled me back. Before we continue, I need to ask you something. If this story already has you angry at Alaric or wondering what happens to Seraphina next, take a second to subscribe, like the video, and tell me in the comments whose side you're on so far. I read your comments, and every like helps this story reach more people who love drama like this. I'll give you a few seconds. Then let's continue.
I slowly turned toward the man who had stopped me. Moonlight covered half of his face, but even in the darkness, there was something unsettling about him. Something dangerous. "I have nothing left," I whispered. My voice felt empty, broken. My husband no longer looks at me the way he used to. His family hates me. I lost my child, and now I've lost my home too. I thought he would tell me everything would be all right. I thought he would pity me, but he didn't. He only looked at me and said, "Then live." His eyes never left mine. "Live long enough to make them regret breaking you." Before I could ask who he was, soldiers suddenly appeared from the darkness and immediately dropped to one knee. "Your Majesty." My heart nearly stopped. I stared at him in disbelief. The man standing before me was King Darius Vale, the Iron King. The ruler people feared so much that mothers frightened children with his name. And then, He simply turned around and walked away, leaving me standing there beneath the moonlight. Minutes later, I heard voices calling my name. Alaric had found me. For one foolish second, I thought he had come because he was worried, because he cared. But he only looked at me and said, "Come back." When we returned, his family surrounded me immediately. Their eyes looked at me as if I had become some kind of monster. They accused me of trying to kill Lydia. I told them she had trapped me. I told them she threw herself down those stairs herself. I begged them to believe me, but everyone had already made up their minds. They remembered that one time I pushed Lydia during an argument. To them, that was enough. No matter what I said, no matter how much I cried, no one listened. Then another piece of news spread through the household. King Darius himself would be visiting our province. Suddenly, my punishment was delayed because no scandal could happen while preparing for the king's arrival. Until then, I was locked away like a prisoner inside my own home. A few nights later, Mia secretly came to see me. The moment I saw her face, I knew something was wrong. "Lady Seraphina," she whispered, her voice shaking. I overheard them talking. My chest tightened. "They don't want to punish you anymore." She grabbed my hands. "They want you gone forever." I suddenly felt cold all over. This was never about justice. They wanted me dead. That night, Mia and I decided to run. For the first time in days, I thought I could finally escape. I thought I might survive this nightmare. Then I heard horses behind us. Guards surrounded us before we even reached the city gates. We had been caught. The next morning, they forced me into expensive robes and jewelry. I looked into the mirror and barely recognized myself. They dressed me like a noblewoman, only to present me like a criminal. I entered the grand hall with my head lowered. And then I saw him again. King Darius sat on the throne as though the entire world belonged beneath his feet. His silver eyes landed on me, and for some reason, he smiled. The entire hall became silent as he finally spoke. "Seraphina Vale will return with me." Nobody moved. Nobody even breathed. Lydia's smile disappeared immediately. Alaric looked stunned, and I could only stare at King Darius wondering one thing. Why me? No one dared question him. Not Alaric, not his family. Not anyone. As guards began leading me away, I suddenly remembered Mia. "Your Majesty?" I called out softly. The entire room froze. "Please let Mia come with me. She only tried to help me. If I leave, they'll punish her." King Darius stared at me for a few moments that felt like forever. Then he spoke. "Granted." A few hours later, we left everything behind. I looked back through the carriage window and watched the place I once called home disappear, little by little. I thought I would cry, but strangely, I didn't. Days later, dark mountains appeared in the distance. Beyond them stood King Darius's kingdom. I had imagined cold walls, chains, darkness. Instead, I saw golden lights stretching across the city like stars fallen from the sky. Massive palaces stood high above us, beautiful enough to make me forget how to breathe. I froze when servants bowed as I entered. No one looked at me with disgust. No one looked at me with pity. They simply bowed. Somehow, that frightened me even more. Later that night, I was summoned to King Darius's chambers. My hands trembled as I walked inside. He stood near the window, staring into the night while moonlight rested across his face. "Do you know why I brought you here?" he asked. I slowly shook my head. I thought he would finally reveal the price I had to pay. But his next words stunned me. "I want you to stay here under my protection." I stared at him in confusion. "And in return," he continued, "I will help clear your name. I will help you expose everyone who betrayed you." I couldn't understand him. "Why?" I whispered. King Darius looked at me for a long moment. Then he said quietly, "Because I want your trust." His silver eyes never left mine. "And I am willing to wait for it."